trying to beat the sun up. Grinding hard for mine to see a meal before my sun's up. All I'm saying is I'm trying to get my funds up. Gotta stay strapped, case these niggas.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining in for another episode of Run It Back, where we highlight the area's greats from yesteryear on the hard work and dedication that they put on that hard work floor on the city streets and gyms throughout the city of Waterbury. This episode is the same thing, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be short of the history lesson that each episode and each person sitting next to me has yet to share, to share with you guys. So, without further ado, we going back. We going back from my alma mater, one of the school's all-time greats in scoring and just leadership. This week, we'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Lucas Spellman. How you doing, my brother?
What's going on, E?
All right. How's everything, man?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good, man. I'm glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you asking me to do this. So.
Yes, man. It's, again, man, it's a pleasure. I like to get my popcorn ready, and, I hope everybody at home is getting their popcorn ready and just, tune into this conversation. And like I said, every time we have somebody here, it's a history lesson for those that, weren't there at the time when you was putting in work or didn't even know or, was probably there, but we like to jog their memories a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let them, so we don't get forgotten about,
Absolutely.
Without further ado, man, like, how did everything start with you, man?
Man, everything started when I was young, man. I remember my father put the ball in my hand when I was 4 years old, man. I had like a little miniature basketball that I used to carry around our apartment, you know what I mean, and dribbling and shooting with. And that was just my everyday toy, man. You know what I'm saying? I used to love that ball. And then when I turned 8 years old, that's when I joined my first team. My father was coaching the team down at the rec. I believe the team was called Christ and Me. I believe that's what the name of the team was. Yeah. And it was a 12 and under league, and I was the youngest one in the league, but, I was on the team. I didn't get much playing time, obviously,
okay.
but when the opportunity presented itself, he threw me in there once in a while and got me that experience or whatever. And after that, as I got a little older and I got as of age of everybody else, it just you seen all the hard work pay off. You know what I'm saying? That's when
definitely.
That's when Lucas Spellman was born. So
that's news. Yeah. Facts. But for people who don't know, man, you pretty much came from a athletic family. Like,
yeah, man.
And, you guys got lineage, that's connected to basketball, track, and why don't you start on some of that?
So obviously, a lot of people know my father played ball and was a track star back in his day. Mm-hmm. I have an aunt, my Aunt Tammy, who was a 1,000-point scorer out of high school.
Yes.
My cousin Mook, who played at Sacred Heart, who's well known for basketball. My cousin George Hurdle was another ball player that was pretty solid. Even on my mom's side, I have my Uncle Mike Yeldell, who was a good ball player at Wilby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got some solid ball players, on both sides of the family. Even my cousin Jay Hurdle, he was one of the stars at Caner. Yeah.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah, man. So
he was like our captain because I was a freshman when he was a senior.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And even after me, I had my little cousin Mark. He did his thing at Caner. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. We definitely have quite a few ball players that came through the family.
Yeah.
So
nice. So you said your father got you, in your first organized league at 8.
Yeah.
And you pretty much played up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Did he start like any, specific like training and stuff like that to prepare you, or he just kind of like put you in there just to kind of mix it up?
To be honest, I don't remember any specific training he used to have me do. Like I said, I just remember, just being around the house and just shooting and stuff around the house. So basically at that time, 8 years old, I was already able to lay the ball up, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, a lot of 8-year-olds, sometimes they struggle getting the ball up to the hoop, but I was already able to lay the ball up. I was able to hit a jump shot. My handle was decent. We may have done some drills. I just don't remember, it was a long time ago, but But I just remember playing on that team, and that was the only time I ever got to play my older brother. My older brother he played ball a little bit too, but he wasn't really known for ball like that. But him being 4 years older, that was the only time we ever got to play together.
Gotcha.
He was 12 and I was 8. But yeah, so I just, like I said, man, my father used to just throw me out there in the fire, man, and just basically just like it's like when you throw a kid in the pool and
see what happens.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Sink or swim.
Exactly. So that's all it really was. You know what I mean. But I'm pretty sure we did some kind of drills, but I don't remember too many. So.
Right. So you figure you paid with the Christ CME that's the North End Rec.
Yep.
All right. So now, do you continue to play in different leagues, or do you continue that?
Oh yeah, I played in different leagues, man. So I started playing with the Rec travel team. Rec had an in-house league. I was playing on the Pell travel team. And then they even had like a blackjack league, which was like a 3-on-3 league down at Sprague School.
Okay.
So I did all that, man. And then even in middle school, I was in all these different leagues. So in middle school, I was playing on five different teams at one time.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So like I said, you had the 3 teams at the Rec. We had the 1 team at the Southern Rec, the blackjack league, and you know what I'm saying? So, and then also the school league. So I was playing basketball 7 days a week, man.
Wow, you was busy.
That was my life, man. That was my life. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of them kids that grew up playing video games. I mean, I had a Nintendo, you know what I mean? But that wasn't really, my thing. Like, as soon as I get out of school, do my homework, I'm headed to go play ball. You know what I'm saying? I go meet up with my boy Mark King. Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
I walk down to his house, meet up with him. We go walk down to the Rec. That was like every day. You know what I'm saying? Every single day we was down at that Rec playing ball, man. So, it just that was my life, man.
Yeah.
That was my life, you know what I'm saying? All these different leagues and stuff. And I think that benefited me tremendously, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to the point where I was playing against so many different players and so many different levels of talent that I was never scared to go up against anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether they're older, same age, or anything. You know what I'm saying? I was always prepared. So.
Always prepared, yes. Now, so starting at that young age and being active in different leagues, were there any, aside from Mark, you know what I'm saying, you can add him too. Were there any other players that became stars later that you seen mixing it up when you were younger?
Oh yeah, we had plenty of players that became stars, man. I used to go up against like guys like Mike Stallings out of Sacred Heart all the time.
Shout out to Mike.
Gordon Shepard out of Holy Cross. You know what I'm saying? I was like I said, Mark King, who ended up playing at Wilby.
Yep.
You had Calvin Davis, who was a star at Sacred Heart.
Yep.
Rob McClain, who was a star at Sacred Heart. You know what I'm saying? Bill Penn from Kennedy. Tommy T from Crosby. Okay. So, yeah, man. I grew up playing against...
okay. So that was, that's a nice pool to be mixing it up with daily. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, all of us, man, we used to all be at the Rec. Always, man, down there balling and battling, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, we had so much talent that used to come down to the Rec and just balling, man. And we was all cool, but at the same time, we all went at it. We went at each other necks, you know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where you think people about to fight, you know what I'm saying? But then after the game, we're going to have pizza downtown together or something, you know what I mean? So, but that's just how it was back then, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you in between them 4 lines, ain't no friends.
No friends.
Ain't no friends, you know what I'm saying? You ready to take the next person's head off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got a point to prove. I'm better than you, you know what I mean? So that's how it was back then, but it was daily, man, daily.
And that's part of that, that competitive nature and that competitive edge that you had to have, back then playing sports and stuff like that. I mean, not to knock, the way in which a lot of leagues are, put together now, but back then, there was a lot of trying out. Like you had to try out for this, and you only got rewarded when you won.
Yep.
Like, championship, you got a trophy and maybe the runner-up trophy.
Yep.
Now, you get some leagues where everybody get a participation, award and stuff like that.
Yeah, that don't exist in my house. That don't exist. You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean? So back then, number one, you was competitive in nature. And number two, you're competing because you want to win because we're going to get that trophy right there.
Absolutely.
we wanted to, we're going to, matter of fact, we're going to defend that trophy.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? Because we won last year. So that was that nature that you had to have. And everybody on your team kind of was on the same page too.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's what you played for, man. 'Cause like you said, there was no participation trophies back then.
Nah.
You wasn't getting a medal or a trophy or none of that stuff. Nah, it's either you won or you came in second. And then even then, you didn't want to come in second because the difference in the size of the trophy, you know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, you know what I mean? So it's like you don't want to go home with the small trophy. You want the big trophy, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, we were just very, very highly competitive, man. And shout out to the Rec, man, because, they helped me a lot, man, tremendously. Like Ralph DeGroat,
Yes, shout out to
Doja
Ralph.
Lamar, Bo, Margaret, all of them, man. Bop, you know what I'm
Bop.
saying? Like
Yeah.
all of them, man. They really, really, really,
Darius.
they used to make us work, man. Darius, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
they made us work, man. They helped us grow into being the players and the young men that we ended up becoming to be. But yeah, man, we was always highly competitive, man. We wanted those trophies. So
Definitely.
you would not go to my mother's house in her attic where all my trophies are. You would not see not one trophy that say participation.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
nah.
You won't see none of those. Not one.
No.
You know
no.
what I mean? So
Let me ask you this about the rec. This is some of the discrepancies we, some of us ballers from the hill that, we had experienced,
Yeah.
a lot of times when we was playing in the rec leagues. And, it was a time when the rec, they would have a team, maybe two teams in the league.
yeah.
And you got the coaches, But, every once in a while you see the coach reffing the game that you're playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
to Jay and Jay Johnson, Black. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? We playing against the rec, but their coaches reffing our game. You already know how that played out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Yanni and Shannon and Mel Roundtree and all them. But we was getting in y'all behinds back then, y'all. Y'all had extra help.
Man.
Nah, but everybody was good back then, and it was super competitive.
Absolutely.
In the rec, just like going through those doors, like a lot of people that sit, in that seat, where they talk about either the rec, the boys club, but even if you played at the boys club, at some point you made your way to the rec.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, played at the rec, never played at the boys club, but at some point, even if you played at the boys club, you made your way to the rec. So I'm saying, like, everybody at some point played at the rec, played in the rec league. You know what I mean? Because that's where, you really playing against stars. And, even if, we're not stars at the time, you're playing against dogs.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
and here's one. There's not really no weak links on the team.
No. At least not back then. You know
Nah,
what I'm
ain't no
saying?
weak links on the team.
None, man, none. It was just so much talent across the city back then, man. And and I don't want to leave the YMCA out. There was times we would go down to the Y,
Yep.
ball at the Y. But I feel like the rec is like Waterbury's Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? It's like the mecca of basketball in Waterbury. Like if you a baller with any type of notoriety, you played at the rec at some point. You know what I'm saying? And you made your name at the rec. If you wasn't getting off at the rec, then you wasn't nobody.
You was nobody.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to really go down the rec and make your name for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we had a lot, like I said, there was so much talent that came through that rec, man. Every day was a battle.
Yeah.
It was always
for
a
sure.
battle, man. So, I would never forget those days, man.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
forget those days.
So, okay, so now you go from, playing in the rec and the earlier years. So what about middle school?
So I went to North End. And in sixth grade, we only had two sixth graders that made the team, myself and Mark King.
Okay.
We didn't get a lot of playing time in sixth grade. But then at one point, I want to say maybe midway through the season, we had a game. I forgot who we was playing against. And in that game, I had either 4 or 5 3-pointers. And one of my 3-pointers sent the game in overtime.
Okay.
Ultimately, we ended up losing that game. But after that game, the coach ended up starting me the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? So I got to start as a sixth grader for half the season.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, that
That's
was big,
big.
man. That was big. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know too many people that have been able to accomplish that. But yeah, sixth grade, I started half the season. But then seventh grade, he had me back coming off the bench because we were loaded. We had a crazy squad. But then,
Who were some of the people in your
so
squad? Even your sixth grade squad, who were some of the players?
so we had we had myself, Mark King, you had Mike Stallings, you had Pooh Saunders, you had Ryan Gomes. Who are some of the other guys we had? Mike Smigelski. Man, I forgot who else we had. We had so many players, man. Brandon Beeman. This other dude, Oren. I forgot Oren's last name. Yeah, man, I can't remember.
And that's your sixth grade squad?
Yeah, that was in sixth grade. We had all those guys.
So what about seventh now?
Seventh grade, we had some of the same players. I think Gomes was gone at that time, but we still had Poole, Mike Stallings, myself, Mark King. We still had Mike Smigelski. We still had Brandon Beeman. We still had a lot of those guys.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then that year, so 6th grade year, Wallace ended up winning the city championship. And then 7th grade year, we were co-champs that year.
Okay.
But in 8th grade year, that was my year, man.
So that 6th grade year, who was in Wallace at the? Not Cedric and them.
Cedric was there. Cedric was there. Cedric, you had
CC?
So CC was at Wallace because he was in the same grade as me. I don't know if he made the team in 6th grade. I don't know.
Okay.
He might have. I don't see why he wouldn't have because CC was nice. Shout out to CC.
Shout out to cuz CC.
But yeah, he was there. Cedric was there. Henry Bonds was there.
Okay.
Ross McLean was there.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else was there. Tommy T. I think Tommy T was there at the time. I believe he's the same class as me.
Mm-hmm.
And James Vassar, those guys. But I don't believe all those guys were on the team that 6th grade year.
6th grade year.
But they were all at Wallace at the time. So they had some. Wallace had some talent, man. They had a good squad. You know, it was always between us and Wallace at the time.
Yep.
You know, no disrespect to Kennedy, but they was trash.
West Side.
Oh, excuse me, West Side. West Side. Sorry, yes, West Side. West Side.
West Side with Kennedy.
Yeah, West Side. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you said 7th grade year, you came off the bench again.
Yeah.
But you guys were co-champs with Wallace?
Yeah, we was co-champs. Yeah, because we didn't have. I guess now they have a playoff, but we didn't have a playoff back then. It went based off your record and then your head-to-head battles.
Okay.
So the only team that had beat us was Wallace. We split. You know what I'm saying? They beat us once, we beat them once. So that's how we ended up becoming co-champs.
Okay, got you.
But in the 8th grade year, there was no doubt about it. We were city champs that year.
8th grade year?
Yeah, 8th grade year.
So who won that squad? So now you start.
That's my team.
That's your team.
My team at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like so you know, so it's me, Mark King again. Now you have guys like Will Blandon, Joe Schmullen, Joe Pierce, RP Joe Pierce. He passed away a couple years ago. We had him on that team. Oh man, who else we had, man? I'm trying to think, man. It's just so long ago. I can't remember who the other guys we had on the team, but we had a good squad, man.
Yeah, good squad.
But me and Mark, you know, we took over.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We ran that squad. So, but I tell you what, during that year, I actually missed about a month of the season because that's when I fractured my knee at that time.
Oh.
So I was out. Yeah, I was in Torrington. And
injured early.
Yeah, man. I was in Torrington going up for a layup, and there was a pop in my knee, man. I went down. I made the layup, though. Made the layup. You know, I had a pop in my knee, man. I was out for a month. I dropped 30 that game, too, by the way. Let's make note of that.
Okay, 30. He still gave him numbers.
Yeah, still put up numbers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was injured. I fractured my knee that game. I was out for about a month. But I ended up coming back for the end of the season to finish the season off. So
okay.
Yeah.
And you guys won the.
Yeah, we ended up winning the city that year.
Won the city.
Yeah, we ended up beating everybody. We were undefeated.
Oh, undefeated.
Yeah. We was that good.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so now, are there any? Do you have any aspirations of going to Wilby, Crosby, Holy Cross? Like, what were you thinking in terms of high school at this point?
So at that time, obviously you want to go where we're a winning program. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I was either gonna go to Sacred Heart or Holy Cross.
Okay.
Mr. Willie White, R.I.P. to Willie White, he reached out to my father. He wanted me to come to Sacred Heart.
Gotcha.
So ideally, that's where I was initially supposed to go, to Sacred Heart. But then, I don't know, things got a little mixed up. I never ended up taking the entry exam to get to Sacred Heart, but I ended up taking Holy Cross's entry exam, and so I ended up at Holy Cross. And we had a good squad, man. You had, like, coming in as freshmen, you had me, Mark King, and this dude Justin Pesh, who was a solid freshman.
At Holy Cross?
Yeah, we all came through Holy Cross together.
So everybody know that's not from the Waterbury area. Wallace is kind of like connected to Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
North End is kind of connected to Wilby.
Yep.
Well, Wallace is connected to Crosby.
Yep.
North End is connected to Wilby, and West Side is kind of connected to Kennedy,
Yeah.
like down the street from each other. But usually when you go to one of the middle schools, you go to that's the high school you go to.
Yeah, my mom wasn't having that.
Okay.
She wasn't having that. She said straight from the jump. You're
not going to Wilby.
She said you're not going to Wilby. She said that wasn't even an option.
Not an option.
Not an option. She said you was not going to Wilby. So it was either Sacred Heart, Holy Cross, or Caner. And at that time, my father was a coach at Caner, but Caner wasn't good. They weren't good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I had it in my mind, I'm not going to Caner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it boiled down to Sacred Heart or Holy Cross, and ultimately I ended up at Holy Cross my freshman year. And, it was a decent year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had some good players at Holy Cross. You had like Mark Konecki there, Gordon Shepard, Darius Stallings.
That's a solid squad.
Yeah, they had some good players.
Yeah.
Had this dude, Corey Carangelo, which, people don't talk about that dude enough, but that dude was nice, yo.
Yeah.
Corey was good, man. Corey was real good.
Okay.
He was the point guard for the varsity squad. He used to get busy. Like I said, you have myself, Mark King, and Justin Pace there. So we had a solid team at Holy Cross. But I didn't get moved up to varsity. Things kind of got a little screwed up at Holy Cross. So my second game for the freshman team was playing against Crosby.
Okay.
And I went up for a layup, and I got knocked down and fractured my wrist. Okay. Everything happens to me when I'm going for a layup. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Get him out the ear.
Yeah, exactly. So, I fractured my wrist, and I was out for about 4 or 5 weeks. And then once I came back from injury, now mind you, that same game, Coach Generali at the time approached my father and told him that if I was good, if I was healthy, because we didn't know that my wrist was fractured, we just knew I got hurt. Mm-hmm. He said if I was healthy, to come to JV practice on Monday because he was ready to move me up.
Okay.
But obviously since I was out, that never happened. So once I came back from injury, they wouldn't even let me start freshman anymore. They limited my minutes tremendously.
So how many games in the season?
It was only, like I said, it was only 2. The second game of the season when I got hurt.
Okay.
And I was a starter for the freshman team, and like I said, once I came back, I want to say probably were maybe at the midway point in the season.
Okay.
Like I said, I wasn't even starting freshman anymore, and then it kind of got me a little discouraged. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really focused on what I had to do, and then ultimately, my schoolwork started to go down, and I ended up flunking off the team. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So which a lot of people don't know that. I ended up flunking off the team, so I never even got to finish the season. So at that point, my parents made an executive decision. They was like, you know what? We're going to take him out of Holy Cross. He don't get to decide no more. We're going to send him to Caner.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So
they took your decision power
away.
Yeah,
they took it all away. They didn't care what I thought about it because I didn't want to leave Holy Cross. I didn't want to leave. But my parents was like, no, we send you to Caner. You're going to Caner, and that's it. That's what it is. And I tell you what, that's the best decision my parents ever made for me, man.
Get out of here.
That's the best decision, man. Caner felt like home, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. Caner felt like home. And I'm like, and I wish that I had made the decision to go there as a freshman, but I'm also glad that I didn't because it let me see 2 different sides, of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It let me see what it's like to go to a school like Holy Cross compared to a school like Caner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll take Caner
really
10 out of 10 times over Holy Cross, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. So, with your even, I'm just go with your freshman group that you had at Holy Cross.
Yeah.
That you were even, I mean, if you was cool with some of the varsity and JV players, but the group that you had that you was playing with, how was the camaraderie amongst you guys?
Oh, it was great, man. It was great. We had a solid squad. I tell you what, and not even to sound biased, without a doubt, we had the best freshman team in the state. We had everything. We had ball handlers, we had shooters, we had size. Like, we had so much talent on that freshman team. Like, we had a great camaraderie, man. Like my boy Greg on the team, my boy Frank Longo. Like, I had a great relationship with those guys. You know what I'm saying? We had a great camaraderie. Even with some of the JV and varsity, like I said, Darius Stallings, I was good with Darius. I was cool with Cool. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a great relationship with those guys. But, ultimately, I mean, you can't do nothing when your parents say it's time to go.
It's time to go. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Your mom says it's time to go. It's
Clean
time
your
to go.
locker out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I would love to have stayed there and play with those guys because Holy Cross ended up I think that year they made it to the state championship and lost, or they might have won. I can't remember if they won or lost that year, but I know the following year I think they ended up winning that year or something like that. So around that time, so ultimately, if I would have stayed, I would eventually got a ring. But you know, even with knowing that, I still would take Caner over Holy Cross. You know what I'm saying? It just, for one, when I got there, I just seen so many guys that I grew up with there, and just so many people that I just knew personally, and I felt comfortable right from the jump, like with the students, with the teachers, you know what I'm saying, and then the basketball team. You know, we were a little rocky at first, but man, it was just everything was just great, man.
So when you go to Caner, so who are some of the people that's already there that you know that you kind of like knew before?
So you had like Aunt Resto there. John Case, I guess he was like the guy that was expected to be like the leading scorer at the time.
Yeah, John Case was the man then.
Yeah, he was the man at the time. Before I got there.
Okay. John Case.
Know, yeah, John Case.
John Case, he probably was a freshman when I was a senior, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. When I was because he played a little bit with me.
And then you had like Greg Halley, Darnell Hoffler, and guys like that. So, you know, the talent wasn't just there yet. You know what I'm saying? The talent wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, Caner had missed the States that year before I got there. I think they missed it by one game. You know what I'm saying? I think they were like 7 and 13 or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I came in and you know, when people found out I was transferring there, you know, you got people spreading rumors on, you know, he ain't coming to take my spot. He not coming to take my spot. You know, because obviously I was known around the city because, you know, I was good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so many people just hating right from the jump, man. And yeah, I mean, I don't know who was saying that I wasn't gonna take their spot, but clearly I took it.
So you go in your sophomore year.
Yep.
You start in your sophomore year?
Starting every year. I start every year. Every
year.
game every year.
So yeah, you took some.
I took somebody's spot.
You took somebody's spot. Now, were there any struggles with people who was already there that probably thought they was, you know, this should be my time to shine, or?
Yeah. So like we mentioned, it was John Case's team, and you know when I came in, like I said, you know he thought that he was still going to be that guy, and I understand he was a senior at the time. I was a sophomore. Okay. Obviously, your senior year, you want to go off.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not gonna let the sophomore come in here and just take your shine. But you know, I wasn't just any old sophomore. You know what I mean? Like, so it was nothing you was gonna do about it. You know what I mean? Like right. Once I stepped on that floor, it became my team. So, but you know, there was some friction between him and I. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was nothing he could do about it. Right. You know what I mean? It just wasn't nothing he could do. You know, I was just much more talented than he was. I was a better player, but also I put in the work to get to that point.
You put in that work.
You know what I'm saying? So I led the team in scoring, I led the team in steals, and I led the team in assists as a sophomore.
As a sophomore?
As a sophomore. I had a quadruple double the final game of the season against Goodwin Tech as a sophomore.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
quadruple double.
A quadruple double.
So that's what. So
I had. I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to say I think I had about 22 points. I had 11 rebounds, 10 steals, and 10 assists. I believe were the numbers.
Ooh. We got to check the books to see how many people since or even before ever calculated a quadruple double. That's huge right there.
Yeah, like I said, I did as a sophomore, man. I don't know too many people who's done that before. And anybody who wanna check
sophomore,
on that,
senior,
they could go down to the Republican American, get the archives. It was in the paper.
It was in the paper.
It was in the paper, so they could look it up.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Quadruple double. That's huge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
And it's not like you had 10 points and 22 points. That means you was getting busy and getting boards.
Absolutely.
And dishing out dimes.
And getting steals.
And
I would do everything. Everything.
You was doing it all.
And we won the game.
I was about to say, did y'all win the game, though?
And we won the game.
Okay. Nice. So, now, who's part of your starting five? Is it?
So, sophomore year, starting five, I believe, was myself, John Case, I believe Lamar Sands was starting at the time. I think Greg Halley started. I don't know if Darnell started or Jarrell started. one of those guys. But
Okay.
but either way, sophomore year was we weren't that good though, man.
Okay.
Like we went 12-8. But I would like to mention that I missed 5 games that season because I fractured my wrist again. The same wrist I fractured freshman year, I fractured it sophomore year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in practice going up for a layup.
So even your own team got it out for you sometime.
Yeah. Andre Daniel. Yeah, I'll never forget, buddy. Yeah, going up for a layup. Dre tried to block my shot. You know, I fell down, fractured my wrist again. I was out for 5 games, but that one wasn't as bad as when I fractured it my freshman year. So,
Yeah.
so I was only out 5 games. I think out of those 5 games, I think we either went 2-3 or 3-2. I know we ended up losing a couple games during that time, but you know, when I came back, it was like I never left.
Like you never left.
Yeah, man, we got right back on track. But like I said, we ended up being 12-8 that year. Went to states. We beat Prince Tech in the first round. And we lost in the second round to Hand High School. We should have killed that team. We should have killed them, but
Wow.
we was off, man. We had an off game. They had us playing at Kennedy,
Okay.
so we didn't even get to play at Caner. They had us play at Kennedy because
Wow.
it was a home game for us, but because it was a state game, you know, Caner gym
Yeah.
was small back then.
Yep.
They decided to move the game to Kennedy, have us play there,
Yeah.
and we were just all off, man. We just had a terrible game.
Okay.
So after that, we never played any games at Kennedy again. After
No
that.
more.
Nah, man.
So you make it to the States, you know what I mean, which is still huge, you know.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, you know, that's when you make it to the States, it's kind of like, all right, you had some success.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So number one, what's your preparation going into your junior year? And how are you feeling about, okay, we're going into our junior year, like this is clearly my team now. Even though last year was just, you know,
Yep.
it was kind of like taking over a little bit.
Yep.
You was met with a little bit of resistance, but now you're going into your junior year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no resistance. There's nobody.
No, because John Case is gone, and everybody knows at that point, like
Yeah.
it's my squad.
It's your squad.
So going from sophomore to junior year, you know, as far as the preparation, you know, I went to summer camp, so I went to Eastern Invitational.
Okay.
I went to camp there. And you always had like some top-notch players. That was like one of the top camps in the country.
Yes, it was.
You know, at that time, J.R. Smith was at the camp.
Okay.
So he was there. You know, then you had guys like Calvin Davis that was there from Waterbury. You know, we had some solid ball players that was at that camp. So individually, that was my preparation. We always played in the summer league. So there's a league out in Hartford called the Sons of Thunder. So you're playing against like a lot of those schools from the Hartford area.
Okay.
So we got to compete against a lot of those schools. So that was part of the preparation as well. And then Darius Butler would always get a group of guys together. It wasn't necessarily an AAU team,
Okay.
but we would play an AAU tournament. So he would just get into a tournament and get a bunch of random guys together, and we would just play in that tournament. And
Okay.
and during that time, I ended up actually playing against DeJuan Wagner, who if anybody knows who DeJuan Wagner is, he was the top junior in the country at the time when I was a
Right.
sophomore.
Okay.
You know, so I got to play against him, and then
Now, how was that like? Was he a beast like everybody was saying?
yo, was he? He's hands down the best player I ever played against on any level. But I tell you what, I did take it to him though. I took it to him. You know, in that game, actually, Darius had me coming off the bench, but there was a little sequence that him and I had where, you know, he came down, he hit a 3. I came down, I hit a 3, right? He come down, hit a second 3. I come down, hit a second 3. Now he come down, hit his third 3. So his teammates on the bench now, cause everybody see what's going on. They're like, "Oh, you don't shoot like that. You don't shoot like that."
Okay.
So I come down, I hit another 3.
Okay.
I look at the bench. He don't shoot like that. He don't shoot like that. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so they all
Okay.
laughing into it. So then eventually he hit a 4th one. I hit a 4th one.
Oh yeah. Oh, so
then-
that was going back.
Yeah, we went back and forth. So 8 threes in a row between him and I.
Wow.
Yeah, we had 8 threes in a row. And then after I hit my 4th one, you know, obviously other people want to try to get into the mix, and that threw the whole thing off. But
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So him and I had that little sequence where we went back and forth with each of us hitting 4 threes in a row. But he was just different though, man. He was different.
Really?
Like right before halftime, you know, he had Sammy Alvarado from Kennedy. Shout out to Sammy.
Shout out to Sammy.
He was guarding him. And I lie to you not. This dude, DeJuan Wagner, took one step past half court. He drummed the ball between his legs. He's talking to Sammy. He's like, "Yo, I'm about to hit this in your face. I'm about to hit this." And Sammy's like, "Yeah, whatever." You know, the clock went down 3, 2. He shot that jump all net. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I've never, ever in my life have seen a player that can call his shot from that far. Literally a step past half court.
Step past half court.
This dude telling the defense he about to hit the shot, and he hit that shot, man. And he was the real deal. I think he ended up dropping like damn near 40 points on us. You know, I only had 14. I had them 4 threes and I had a layup. You know what I'm saying?
But it looked good in that moment.
Exactly. It looked good. You know what I mean? You know, so. But yeah, he was solid, man. That dude was nasty, man. And obviously, anybody that knows that he went on to play in the NBA. You know, with Memphis and then played it for the Cavs. But yeah, he was nasty. But
wow, okay.
Yeah, but after that, like I said, we always played in the preseason league down at the South End Rec.
Yep.
You know, and then that led into the regular season. So we always was playing. Like that's the one thing we did all year round. Whether we was doing camps or playing in summer leagues and preseason leagues, we was always playing. We was always playing together. You know what I'm saying? So we had that chemistry. You know.
So now, what does your junior squad look like?
So junior year, senior year was pretty similar as far as the starting five. So junior year, you had myself, you had Doughboy who was a sophomore, so he was starting, and then you had Jarrell Smith, Lamar Sings, and Dell Saunders. Okay. And
is that when the Beatles started?
Yeah, you can say that. Say that. Yeah, man, because obviously that's where we started making our name around the state. That's when people really started to recognize who Kaner Tech was and what we was capable of. Because, you know, now at this time, we beating teams 15, 20 points a game, you know what I'm saying? And I think that year we ended up going 18-2. So we went from 12-8 sophomore year to becoming 18-2 junior year. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we lost one game to Bullet Havens by one, and then we lost one game I think to like New Milford or something like that, who we ultimately ended up beating the following week in the Christmas tournament. But yeah, we went 18-2, man, and we was good. We was real good, man. We, you know, I had a few triple doubles that year. Yeah, man. At that point, everybody knew like, Kaner's here.
And the thing is too, the reason why I call you guys the Beatles because it was almost like what you guys had was rare in the sense that y'all all was on one accord.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, you might be the scorer and stuff like that, but everybody had something that they was bringing to it.
Well, everybody knew their role too, and that's the thing. Like,
embraced it too.
Yeah,
they not just know they embraced their role.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
But that's also because with the coaching staff, you know, shout out to my father Hank Spellman and Jay Cal and you know what I'm saying, and Nate Urban and even Coach Joe Meany, like they got us to buy into the system. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, everybody knew, okay, when it comes to scoring, it's ideally gonna be Lucas. And then Lamar would put up some big numbers here and there. You know, Dell's our third option. Yeah. So the scoring would come through the majority of scoring coming through the three of us. Okay. You know, Dell and Lamar and Rel, your job is to rebound. Defense up top, myself and Doughboy to get the steals. You know what I'm saying? And then you got other guys that coming off the bench, like your brother Mike or Cheeks or you know, all those guys. They come in, they know their job is to dish the ball around. If you got an open shot, you take it. But everybody knew their role.
And be scrappers on defense.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, and everybody bought into that system because we realized that led to success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was great, man. And like you said, we was all on the same accord because we had that chemistry because we always played together. Yeah. You know, like I said, we played summer ball together. We played preseason together. And we played the regular season. So we was playing year round together. Yeah. And we was also friends off the court.
And friends off the court.
So we was always at each other's house, you know what I'm saying, sleeping over each other's houses and stuff, you know what I'm saying. So that also made the chemistry even stronger. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there was times where I come down court and I'm just dribbling. If I see Dell running a certain way, I know he went the alley. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I see it coming, you know what I mean, and throw that thing up. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Lamar, you know what I mean? So like we already knew what time it was, and they know if I got that steal and they come in, it don't matter. If they see that look in my eyes, I'm going for it myself. You know what I mean?
Yourself.
So you know, we just knew what each other was thinking without even saying it.
Without saying it.
You know.
Wow. And like I said, that's rare. You know what I mean? You don't that many people. You might get one or two that's one accord, but like the whole squad, you know what I mean? And then the people coming off the bench, everybody know. You know what I mean? And then so you guys went 18-2 that year. So what happened when you get into the States?
So before the States, we made it to the league championship, and we ended up losing to Bullet Havens. We ended up losing They actually beat us pretty good that year. I want to say about 14 or 15 points. Because in that championship game, I fouled out. I fouled out when the score was tied, and at that point we couldn't even get the ball past half court anymore. So we ended up losing by like 15 points that game. So that was tough. So we went in the States. We went in there on a mission. You know what I'm saying? We was like, yo, we got to try to make up for this. And then we had a bye for the first round because we were one of the top teams in the state that year record wise. So we had a bye for the first round. In the second round, we played Massac High School. Okay. We ended up beating them. It was a close game. I want to say we probably beat them by like 4 or 5 points or something to that extent. But I went off on them. I had 22. Even Boo Gibbs, Montreal Gibbs, he had a pretty good game. He was only a freshman at the time.
Oh, okay.
He ended up, I think
shout out to Boo.
Yeah, shout out to Boo, man. I think he ended up putting up about 20 that game. And
he had a big game.
Yeah, he had a big game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because I was the leading scorer that game, but Boo got the headline. You know what I'm saying? Because in fact he was a freshman.
He's a freshman.
But it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of team we were. It didn't matter who shined that day as long as we won. That was the biggest thing with us. And then we played against Notre Dame of Fairfield in the quarterfinals, and we ultimately ended up losing to them, which sucked. Not only because we was out of the tournament, out of states, but if we'd have won that game, we'd have played Holy Cross in the semifinals.
Ooh.
And we won at Holy Cross. Man.
We won at
Holy Cross.
Oh man.
And we thought
the city probably wanted that.
Yeah, man, we wanted that bad. You know what I'm saying? And we almost had it because we was up by 20. By the end of the first quarter, we was up by 20 against Notre Dame, but we was losing by halftime.
What do you think happened, though? You think you guys ran out of gas?
Yeah, we was playing at Trumbull High School, and Trumbull High School is a bigger court than the court we had at Canaan. So we pressing them, and we doing a diamond and one, and our diamond press was phenomenal. It's phenomenal. We ran that press to perfection. But like I said, Trumbull was a bigger court, more space. So even though the press was working in the first quarter, we just ran out of gas, man. We pretty much pressed the whole game. Ran out of gas, and then obviously they made adjustments and things of that nature, and figured out how to break the press, and we didn't make the necessary adjustments that we needed to make, and then shots stopped falling after a while, and ultimately they ended up getting the win. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they had a solid team. They had some pretty good guys on that squad. Okay. But we should have won.
Right. That's when you probably said you let get away.
Absolutely.
So okay, now boom, that's out the way. So now you really got revenge on your coming back your senior year, because this is it.
Yeah.
And you guys are bringing back just about everybody.
Yeah. Because we only lost junior year. We only lost. I don't want to make nobody mad because I forget names, but we lost Ant Resto.
Okay, Ant. Shout out to Ant. He was on that. Okay.
Yeah, he was on that team. So we lost Ant Resto. We lost Derek Johnson and Darnell Hoffler. I think those are the only 3 seniors that we lost my junior year. So we brought everybody back senior year. We had our same starting 5. Oh man. Most of the bench, you know what I'm saying? And we added players like Truman Reinhardt, who was a phenomenal freshman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Truman.
Yeah, man. Now you got guys like Cheeks, who's another year experience. Andre Daniels, who got a little bit more experience. You know what I'm saying? And our Doughboy, who was only a junior at the time, has even more experience, after starting freshman his sophomore year. So, yeah, man, we that year we took it out on everybody.
Now it really clicked. That's what I'm saying. It really clicked that senior year.
Yeah, man. That year, like I said, junior year we beating people by 15, 20. Senior year we beating people by 60. 60, dog.
60.
By 60, man. And honestly, it was only 60 because that's all Coach Spellman would allow us to beat people by. Like, so, and what I mean by that is, we get up by a certain amount. Like, say if we up by 40 at halftime, he'll tell us, all right, guys, we need to dial it back a little bit. He'll tell the starters, all right, I'm only going to let y'all play the first few minutes of the quarter. I don't want y'all to play defense past the 3-point line. If they want to shoot, let them shoot. You know what I'm saying? We get a steal. I don't want to fast break, slow it down, run the offense. So he had to dial it back.
Dial it back.
Otherwise, we probably would beat some of these teams by 100. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like we had that much skill. And you got to remember, too, the thing that a lot of people don't know is myself, Del Saunders, Lamar Sands, Jarrell, Doughboy, we were only pretty much playing half a game.
Wow.
Because we was up by so many points every
many
game
points.
that we was only playing half a game. Coach would always take us out. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point where, we see he sent 5 people to the table, and we all on the court like, yo, don't turn it over, don't foul. You know what I mean? Don't
Keep
turn
it going.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We trying to do everything in our power to make sure the ref don't blow the whistle because we ain't trying to come out. You know what I mean? Because we know once we come out, we out the rest of the quarter.
Wow.
And but yeah, man, that's how he used to do it, man. He used to take us out after a few minutes because we was killing everybody, man. We was it used to get ugly so fast, man.
Fast.
It'd be times where we up, it'd be like 32-2 at the end of the first quarter or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It just because, like I said, we start off in the press. We start off pressing everybody. You put Dell on the ball. You got me and Doughboy on the foul line up top. You got Jarrell at half court and Lamar all the way back. So it's like you got Dell who's 6'6", 6'7" on the ball.
You can't even see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You can't even see over that.
You can't, you know what I mean? So
he got them long arms, too.
Exactly. So it's like, and even if you get the ball past him and get it in, you got myself and Doughboy on each side, and then we trap you ASAP. You know what I'm saying? So when you try to throw that ball out of that trap, it's getting stolen. So everything was fast breaks for us. We had offenses, but we barely had to run them because we was getting so many steals, so many fast breaks.
Before they even bring it over.
Before they even get past half court. So it's like, everything was a dunk, man. We was dunking everything, man. So we go to these other gyms, and their fans start cheering for us because they want to see us dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to get that ugly, man. It used to get that ugly.
Wow. So what did you guys at the end of the regular season? What was your record?
We was 20-0. We had a 20-0 regular season. So yeah, man. That's just the difference in the years. Like I said, we started off 12-8 sophomore year, then 18-2 junior year, then senior year we was 20-0. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say I don't think we had any close games that year. Might have had maybe one, but I think maybe one team got within 10 points of us.
Within 10.
But we blew everybody out, man. Everybody, man.
What would you say now, as it's all clicking, what would you say was like your best game when you was like, yo, I'm hot? Like, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, you might get that where the rim seems like it's like extra, open. Like, you know what I'm saying? What would you say was your best game in terms of like hotness?
If I had to pinpoint one game, I would say probably when we played Newtown. We played Newtown that year, and it's funny because back then I was sick that day. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the guys used to joke on the team and say that was my flu game. Like
flu
Jordan,
game?
Yeah, like Jordan had. You know what I'm saying? Because I was on fire again. I had 6 threes. You know what I'm saying? And I lit that team up, man. And I think I ended up with like 33 or 34 points. Mm-hmm. And mind you, a lot of guys on my team got sit and laugh, but free throw shooting wasn't my thing.
Okay.
So I had 30-something points. I missed 9 free throws. I should have had a 40-point game. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah, I missed 9 free throws that game. You know what I'm saying? But we ended up winning. But yeah, man, I was on fire, man. I think I was either 6 for 6 or 6 for 7 from the 3-point line.
Wow.
But I was on fire that game, man.
Wow.
I lit Newtown up.
Lit them up.
Lit them up. And it's funny, like I said, because Newtown not even in our league.
Right.
But they had the way their gym was set up, they had like these bleachers under the hoop. So the direction that the visiting team is going, you're going in that direction to where the little student section is.
And they all right there.
Yeah, they all right there. So
I remember we played Newtown one time, and it was all right there.
Yep. So we in the layup line. They already know our names.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. Like y'all, they not even in our league, but they know we in the layup line. Lucas, dunk it. Dale, dunk
man.
it. Yeah, they asking us to dunk it in the layup line. You know what I'm saying? So
wow.
But like I said, that junior year we put ourselves on a map. So senior year, everybody knew what was coming.
Everybody knew.
You know what I'm saying? They knew what time it was.
It's safe to say, like, by y'all senior year, teams are just looking to survive.
Yeah.
Like, if we can stay within 15, we good. Like
Absolutely. Because like I said, we were just that good, man. And it's like even our JV team, I think only ended up. I think JV might have went undefeated. Or they might have lost 1 or 2 games, but we just were just that good, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could the starting 5 do their thing, and then you bring in the second 5 from the bench, and you're not missing a beat.
Because they're gonna do their thing, and they hungry. And
Yeah.
it's crazy when you have a squad so deep when your starting 5 come out, but the second unit is just as hungry as the starting 5. So they ain't trying to give up no points. They trying to get to the ball, get them steals, and keep it going as well.
Exactly.
So, that's a hard team to beat when you can go that deep.
Cause you got these guys coming off the bench. They trying to get their numbers too. You know what I'm saying? They want their name in the paper. So
my name in the paper.
So you got Dre, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Miguel, Cheeks, all them guys coming in. Truman, Boo. They come in the game. They trying to get their shots up. They trying to get their shots up. They trying to get some steals. Like I said, they want their name in the paper.
They hungry.
You know what I mean? So when you see the score, you see Kaner 120 and Right Tech 60. Like you know what I'm saying? You read in the paper, and you see my name, Dell, Lamar's. If you want them guys off the bench, you want your name. You want
name in it too.
You know what I mean? So they come in, they do their thing. You know what I mean? But we had so much fun that year, man. When you talk about the Beatles, we really felt like the Beatles.
Yeah,
man. We really felt like the Beatles. So
yeah, that's that was one of them things. That I was like, man, like that squad, like their camaraderie. Off the court, obviously on the court, you know what I'm saying, but off the court, because, my brother, hey, bring me over Luke's house or drop me off over Dale's. It's like, dang, all y'all over here? Like, all the time? Like,
yeah, man, it was like a daily thing.
He'd be like, yo, bro, can you pick me up? All right. Who you got with you? Well, it's me, Luke, Dale. I'm like, yo, bro. I said, call me back later. Yeah, but that was always together, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, that's dope. Like,
yeah, always, man. We just always had that relationship because first off, I met your brother when he was a kid, when you was at Kaner.
Yeah.
And used to bring him to practices, and my father bring me to practices. So me and him be on this other side of the court playing one-on-one. So that's how we created our relationship.
Yeah.
Dell, I met him at the rec. We grew up playing ball at the rec together. Same thing with Jarrell. He was came through the rec. So we just all knew each other coming up, man. So when we was at Kaner, just that brotherhood just clicked.
Yeah,
it was just there, you know what I'm saying? So, and nobody was ever jealous of anybody, and that was the biggest thing too, you know. So nobody cared about whether I got the headlines, whether Dell, Lamar, or anybody. Like, we just wanted to win.
Right.
We wanted the respect. We wanted to get our name out there because nobody respected Kaner.
No.
Nobody respected Kaner, and that was our mission, yo. We wanted to make sure we go out there and get our respect. So we going out there and people always say, oh, y'all playing the tech, y'all playing the tech league. Yeah, we playing in the tech league, but we're not just beating these teams by 5, 6, 7 points. We beating them by 50, 60, 70 points.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and another thing too, not to cut you off, but what people see when you look back and when you get people that play ball in Waterbury when they don't give Kaner the props because they don't know who Kaner's playing.
Exactly.
They only know other people from Waterbury.
Mm-hmm.
But Kaner is playing teams out in Hartford, Prince Tech. That's one of Hartford's only high schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Bullard Havens and Bridgeport. That's one of Bridgeport's high schools and stuff like that. And you got Eli Whitney and New Haven.
Yep.
So Waterbury has, like, we're blessed with a lot of high schools. But some of these other towns, that's like one of 3.
Yep.
Like, so you're not playing scrubs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it shows in the state tournament, like, oh, okay, Eli Whitney and Bullard Havens that was ranked number 1 in the state for years.
Yeah, Bullard used to be nice.
You know what I'm saying? Prince Tech.
Prince
you know what I'm
Tech's
saying?
real good.
These are powerhouses in other towns, but because Waterbury only know Crosby, Wilby, Kennedy, Sacred Heart, they don't know who we're playing out of town.
Exactly. Like senior year, Prince Tech played Crosby in the state tournament and beat them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And that was a team that, they couldn't hold our water, you know what I'm saying? So
it was kind of tough when I was
yeah, so it's funny. So little story people not too many people know about. Obviously my brother, like I said, my brother played ball and he went to Kaner before I did. He was 4 years older, so he graduated before I got there. But he was on the team. I remember going to a game when they played against Prince Tech. They had this guy, I don't remember his name, I just remember he was bald with a headband. He's wear a headband all the time.
He was probably a senior because he was like a junior when I was a senior.
Okay.
Delshawn Jackson.
Probably him. Yeah, he
had
have
hops.
Yeah.
So he used to wear the headband back then.
Yeah, he had the headband. So he dunked on my brother twice. You know what I'm saying? And so in my mind, when I came to Kaner, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna avenge my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I play Prince Tech, I'm going off. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm like, yo, they embarrassed my brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did, man. I've only in my 3 years of Kaner, we only lost to Prince Tech one time. That was the first time I ever played him. We lost him in a league tournament. But then we played him in the state tournament the following week. We beat him.
Okay.
And then junior year we beat him. Senior year we beat him. Like, we used to embarrass Prince Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
but
Prince Tech was a powerhouse though.
They was. But they did my brother dirty, man. So I had to do them dirty. You know what I'm saying?
Dirty.
Yeah. So shout out to my brother Marcus. I had your back, baby.
He had you. Little bro had you, Mark.
Yeah. So but not to cut you off.
Yep.
I just want to shout out a couple other people. Dwayne Dickens out of Abbott Tech.
Okay.
He was nasty.
Okay.
He's probably one of the best. Actually, he was the best player I played against in the Tech League.
Okay.
He was out of Abbott Tech, and he had another guy, last name Jop, from Goodwin. When I was a sophomore, he dropped 46 on us.
Ooh.
We beat him, but he dropped 46. And you had this short guard out of Eli Whitney. I forgot his name. Same thing. My sophomore year, he was a senior. He dropped 41 against us. So I want to give him some love because we had some players, man. We had some players in that Tech League. So
you know, like you said, Goodwin. Every once in a while, they had because I think when I played, they had a guy that was pretty solid. He was pretty good. That can shoot. You know what I mean? So and Prince and Bullet Havens, they was like runner gunners, and they'd go upstairs on you, and you know. But like I said, like people in the inner city don't see those schools until you get a rude awakening, like Crosby against Prince in the state tournament. Like, who these? That's a Tech school. And you're thinking, oh, we can beat them. Nah, they
exactly.
They some dogs. You know, nah, you know, you can't sleep on the Tech League. You know what I mean? So how did you guys do going into the States this year?
So that year we had another bye, all right, and then that year, so the state kind of screwed us over a little bit. We were supposed to be in Class L. We was in Class L every year. But in that year, they moved us to Class M. In that year, there was only 3 schools in the state that had an undefeated record. You had us, Trinity Catholic, and Sacred Heart, right? And excuse me, not Trinity. It was Kobe Cathedral. Us, Kobe Cathedral, and Sacred Heart. They put all 3 of us in Class M, right? And so you had Kobe number 1, Sacred Heart number 2, and they put us at number 3. So we like I said, so we had a first round bye. Then we played East Catholic in the second round. East Catholic was tough. They had this big guy. He was about 6'11". They had a couple solid guards. They were a good team. They was a good team. They gave us a little difficult time, but you know they came to our gym and I wasn't losing the state game.
Yeah.
Right. Where Caner, so that just wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care who we played. It was not gonna happen.
Not happening.
You're not beating me at home in front of my people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we ended up beating East Catholic in the second round, and in the quarterfinals we played against Northwest Catholic, and Northwest Catholic, like Mike Parker there. I think the big guy name was Chris Bruff. I think he ended up going to play for University of Maine, and Mike Parker ended up playing for Sacred Heart University. They had a really good team, so they ended up beating us in the quarterfinals, and then they ultimately went on to win the state championship. They ended up beating, I think they beat Trinity the following game, or no, they beat Kobe the following game, and they beat Trinity in the finals. So Kobe. I mean, Northwest Catholic was good, but we could have beat them. Beat them. I'll take the blame for that one. You know what I'm saying? I think I had 11 points that game. You know, my shot wasn't falling, but. You know, but they played me boxing 1. You know what I'm saying? In boxing 1,
it's tough.
Used to frustrate me.
Here's the thing with the boxing 1, you know, because I faced that a couple times.
Yeah.
It's what make it hard for the score is if I don't have another scorer that can open it. That you can, all right, make them play, because all you need them to play honest, and then you're good.
Absolutely.
That's all you need. So if you have another score that's lighting it up, now they got to back it up. They got to open that up a little bit, and that's all you need is just that little bit of breathing room for them to play honest. And all right, let's go.
You know, and you know, we had some solid players. Like I said, Dell could put up numbers, Lamar could put up numbers, but a lot of those guys played off of me. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm not having a good game, if I'm not making things happen, you know, if it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So, you know, if I got this one guy following me around the whole court, and now they played that box 1, my man was on me full court. And even if I get by him, you know, in the boxing 1, you get by the one, you still got the box you got to deal with.
Still got the box.
So, you know, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I had a difficult time dealing with the boxing 1. There was a few times I faced the boxing 1, and you know, but like you said, we didn't have anybody else that really stepped up like that. No disrespect to any guys on my team. You know, I had a solid team, but unfortunately, we didn't have anybody that could really, you know, take over like that other than me. So, you know, they took me out of the game, and ultimately that helped them.
Would you say that was like your worst game? Or what would you say was like your worst game?
Yeah, without a doubt. Because I think that's the only game all season where I didn't score at least 20 points. See, that's definitely, without a doubt, was my worst game of the season. Because I had a phenomenal season senior year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I scored my 1,000 points that year. Yeah, man, I had a great season.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, that game was my worst game, without a doubt.
So now now, the thing is when it's riding high, it's riding high. And when you get that L, when you get that senior year L, where it's, okay, this is over.
Yeah.
Like, where's your thoughts? Like, what are you thinking? Like, are you thinking like college, or are you thinking like what's the next phase? Not plan B, because
I mean, yeah, you know, you definitely think of college. College is definitely, you know, in the forefront of your mind at that point. You know, after you get over the loss, but and then for me, you know, which many people know, I was also a phenomenal track athlete.
yes.
So I still have my track season to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, you know, regroup, get my mind right, and get ready for my senior year in track. So I didn't really get to dwell on the loss too much. I mean, ultimately, you know, I would love to have won the state championship or at least made it to the championship. But, you know, after you lose, man, you just got to suck it up and move on.
That's
you
it.
know what I mean? And
That's it.
And so my focus became the track season, and then, you know, from there I was going to figure out what I was going to do as far as college-wise. But, you know, I had some options.
Now, how did you regroup with track?
Honestly, it was a big help from my father, man. You know, even though he wasn't my track coach, him having done track and me doing the same events that he did in track, the triple jump and the long jump, you know, he used to take me out to Holy Cross, and we go work out one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Do some training together, whatever the case was. And we knew that I was the top triple jumper in the state my senior year. We knew I was the number one
really?
rated. Yeah, I was number one because my junior year I ended up number three in the state. But the two guys ahead of me were both seniors.
Okay.
So I was the top returning triple jumper. So we just had to get refocused and prepare for that, because I knew that, you know, I was going to get everybody's best shot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to check out the top dog, and I was the top dog. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
You know, but yeah, man, it was tough, like I say, because my heart was with basketball. Even though I was a phenomenal track athlete, my heart was with basketball. So, you know, that kind of hurt, but I had to refocus, regroup.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And did you have a good track season?
I had a great track season. I had a great season. I never lost the triple jump senior year. I never lost to anybody.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, man. You know, every track meet we had, I ended up winning. I won the states. I won the class meet in the state, so class double M. I won that. I won the state open, but then ultimately I ended up going to New England's. So I did lose in New England's.
Okay.
But I shouldn't have been there. I just wasn't focused. I wasn't prepared.
In New England?
Yeah, for New England, because it was the day after the prom. I didn't want to go there, man. I didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? I ended up meeting up with, because we had to drive up there. So the coach and my parents, we rented a van. We all went up there together, and we were supposed to meet at like a community lodge. So I got there late because it was the night after the prom. You know what I'm saying? Day after the prom. So it's like, I wasn't trying to be there, man. So I got there late, and then ultimately we got to the track meet late because it was like in Vermont or something like that. And I didn't really get a good warm up. My head wasn't there, man. My head wasn't there. But either way, you know, I'm still, I still won the states. I still made all New England and all that stuff. So I had a great season, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. And shout out to that, man. You know, I mean, here's the thing. Just because you lost in the States, you still had a phenomenal senior year in basketball.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, too, what you guys accomplished, I think, the championship helps. You know what I'm saying? But when you look back those 3 years, the relationships is more valuable than the trophy.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? You done gained some brothers.
Yep.
And all the memories of those games and after the game and all that with those 3 years, man, that's priceless.
Yeah, man. It was so many things that we experienced that year. I remember we went to I think it was Ellis Tech or Wyndham Tech, one of the two, and they were having a dance that night. And after the game, you know, we go to the locker room, we got dressed, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what the delay was, but it took us a while to get on the bus. So what we did, we went inside the dance. You know what I'm saying? The dance was inside the caf. The basketball team and the cheerleaders, we all went inside the dance. Yeah, we in there getting we getting it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have you would think it was our party. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
man.
We in there just getting it in, whatever.
And they welcomed y'all.
I mean, they had no choice.
Had no choice.
Cause first, the kids that was there at the school at the dance, they weren't even dancing. And they all just in there just chilling. So we got in there, we up in there dancing, having a good time, man. The DJ loving it because he got people dancing now, whatever the case was. And yeah, we was having a good time. We was in there for about at least a good 10 minutes in there dancing and having a good time with the cheerleaders until Mother Barnes, shout out to Mother Barnes, she came in there and said, "Let's go, y'all gotta get out of here." You know what I'm saying? Go get on the bus. So yeah, cause that's one thing too, man. Shout out to all the parents that used to support us back then because my Mother Barnes, Doughboy mom, who has since passed away, R.I.P. to her, Cheek's mom, Lamar's aunt and mother, Dell's mother, Miss Soph. Like they used to travel with us, man. Like every game we had the same moms and like they used to travel with us.
That's huge.
You know what I'm saying? So we always had a little crowd with us, you know what I'm saying? And it just made us comfortable and it made us play harder too, knowing we had support there. So
yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's something that you don't see every day. But it don't matter where at Caner, Ellis Tech was like an hour away.
Yep.
Wyndham Tech down there an hour away.
Yep. You traveling.
Right Tech is in Stanford, you know what I'm saying? So
you traveling.
But these parents, it didn't matter. They was there, yo. They was there. So shout out to them, man. That was great to have them around.
Wow, that is great. So you finish with before we go there, were there any? Would you say that you had any in-city rivals?
I wouldn't really call it a rivalry. You mean like as far as teams or individuals?
You can go with team first and then individual. Like, do you kind of like, people pinned y'all to, you know what I mean? Compared you or?
Yeah, so it would be us and Sacred Heart because we were the top two teams in the city by far. Okay. Wilby was decent. Wilby was all right. Holy Cross was decent, but my senior year, it was clearly us and Holy Cross were the top two teams in the city. I mean, Sacred Heart, sorry. Okay. Us and Sacred Heart were the top two teams in the city. And everybody always compared us to because they went 20-0 in their league, we went 20-0 in our league.
Gotcha.
But unfortunately, we never got to play against each other, except for in the preseason. But I mean, you can't really count that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, so us and Sacred Heart will be the top two teams that people always compared against each other.
Okay. Now, was there any particular players?
Yeah, we had a lot of people used to compare me with Kelvin Davis. He was one of the top guys in the city, so who played for Sacred Heart. So he was always between him and I. That people used to compare. Yeah, because we had similar games. He was a little taller than me, but we were both high flyers. You know what I'm saying? Big time scorers. You know what I'm saying? So he was killing in the NBL. I was killing in the Tech League. So and we grew up playing against each other all the time too. So
gotcha.
Yeah. It was,
okay. Oh yeah, I see. So Calvin, yep. So you the nucleus of your team.
mm-hmm.
Calvin's probably part of the nucleus of his team.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And both of y'all had solid and not solid. Both of y'all had great teams.
Yeah.
So I would see where you would kind of like make the comparisons and try to if they played against each other or who would win now. Like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I felt like the city should have had like an exhibition game. They should have did the exhibition game, us against Sacred Heart, just for the city. You know what I'm saying? Something for the city because I think everybody would have loved to have seen that. You know what I'm saying? I think we as players would have loved to have played in that as well.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
It's unfortunate it didn't get to happen, but we know they know what we did. We know what they did, and we without a doubt the top two teams in the city at the time.
For sure, definitely. Well, Luke, man, it's if there's let me ask you this. Before we wrap up, number one, it's been a pleasure just chopping it up with you, man. We could do this, all day. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If there's a message that you can give though, to the parents or even some of the kids today, what is it that you would share with them, either along their journey or as they start to enter their journey of sports? Because you wasn't just a basketball man. You know what I'm saying? You did the triple jump. You know what I mean? Track and field, aspects. So just in terms of sports and athletics, what are some things or some gems that parents and kids can take with them?
Man, just to figure out what it is you want to do in life, figure out what it is you want to accomplish, and just never lose focus. You know what I'm saying? Never lose focus of your goal. You know, because coming up, we knew exactly. Coach Spellman used to ask us every year, at the beginning of the season, what is your goal for the season? What is your goal? What is your goal? We always had to have a goal, and that's what you focus on. You know what I'm saying? So if your goal is to make the varsity team, focus on that and work towards that. If your goal is to win the state championship, do what you got to do to make that happen. You know, so even if you don't make that happen, it's not a failure as long as you gave your best shot.
Right.
So just create a goal, focus on your goal, and as far as the parents, just be supportive, man. Be supportive of your kids and help them any way that you can. You know, because at the end of the day, I was talking to a parent recently. I'll make this real quick, where she was complaining about how her daughter has to work all year round towards a sport. I'm like, okay, you think about it, it's 24 hours in a day. Let's say we take out 8 hours for sleep. That's still 16 hours that you have in a day.
Yep.
Out of 16 hours, your kid only working out 2 hours a day. Out of that 16, you still got 14 other hours for that kid to enjoy life. Just take 2 hours out of your day, work out, do what you gotta do. That's it. That's all you need. Is 2 hours out of your day to help perfect your craft. You know what I'm saying? If this is really what you want to do.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, so create a goal and just focus, stay focused and work towards that goal.
Great. Okay. I mean, you know what, man? That's huge because a lot of times we have these goals, but we don't stay consistent on it. We don't stay on top of it. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those, and then it becomes a wish list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it becomes a thought.
But also because people want things to happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight.
Gotta
know
put
what I'm
the
saying?
work in.
You got to put the work in. Everything takes time. You know what I'm saying? As good as I became in high school, I didn't wait. I wasn't born great. You know what I'm saying? I had to work towards that. My father put the ball in my hand when I was 4. He had me playing up when I was 8.
Yep.
In middle school, I'm on 5 different teams. You know what I'm saying? So in high school, I'm playing all year round in these different leagues and all this other stuff. So it's like I put the work in to get where I needed to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I scored 1,000 points my senior year. I scored my 1,000th point senior year, but I did that halfway through the season. So if you really think about it, I scored 1,000 points in 2.5 seasons.
2.5 seasons.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't go to Canada my freshman year. So my sophomore, junior year, halfway through my senior year, and I got to my 1,000 points.
And you wasn't playing the whole game.
And I wasn't playing the whole game. You know what I'm saying? I got hurt sophomore year, so I had to miss some games that year. So even with all that, like, and that was one of my goals too coming in. When I knew I was transferring to Canada, that was part of my goal, is to you know, win leagues, win states, and score 1,000 points. That was one of my individual goals, to score 1,000 points, and I accomplished 1,000 points. So, you know, like I said, I put the work in, man.
Yeah, you definitely did.
You know, and it's like I said, it didn't happen overnight. Everything gradually took time, and I got to where I wanted to be. And I'm forever grateful, man. I would never, you know, regret anything that I did as far as sports-wise.
Sure. Well, Luke, man, for me, I was able to have a front row seats to a lot of those games.
Yeah, you did.
And I always tell you, man, I envied your team, your squad. You know what I mean? But you know, you definitely gave us, those that were in those stands, something to watch. You know what I'm saying? I thank you for that, because we got those memories. You know, we seen those games, we seen those dunks and those steals, and like, oh, he about to go up, he going up. You know what I mean? So all that, you know, excitement. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, and you guys left it on the court.
Yeah, we did.
You know what I mean? You guys left it on the court. You know what I mean? And you know, shout out to the relationships and the bonds that you guys created over the years, well after basketball is done. You know what I mean? A lot of you guys are into certain things and other things, and some of you guys are still involved in the sport of basketball, but, you know, to still have those relationships years later.
To this day. To this day.
You know, that's huge, man. And, you know, and you know, the main thing of running back is, you know, waking people up, allowing people to see, he was the man. You know what I'm saying? He's a great at Caner. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know, you know now. If you knew, now you remember. Let's make you remember who Luke Spellman was, man. And you know, thank you for the memories, man. And as a token of our appreciation from the running back, we'd like to give you this, man, from us to you. There you go.
Yeah, see that number right there?
That's 32.
You know, started with Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Came to me.
Yes.
You want to know how I got to this number?
How you get that number?
So, you know, I was always a huge fan of Michael Jordan, right?
Okay.
So obviously Michael Jordan was 23, but you know, I didn't want to copy everybody wanted 23.
Right.
So the closest I could get to Michael Jordan without doing the 23 was
32.
doing 32.
Oh.
So that's how ultimately
Okay.
came to 32. You know what I'm saying? But
Nice.
yeah, man. This is lovely, man. This is lovely.
There you go, Luke. Well deserved, man.
Appreciate it. I
Well
appreciate
deserved,
you.
man.
And I appreciate you choosing me, man. Thank you. I appreciate everything.
Nah, no doubt, man. Hey, so, hey, that's it, man. We wrapping it up. Another episode of Run It Back. You know, we have Mr. Lucas Spellman, a Waterbury great. And I'm signing out. I'm Eric Lewan. See y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.